Hello, and thank you for joining me for this week's PPE. This week's parsha, Parshas Ki Tavo, recounts when the Jews entered the land of Israel. We have the mitzvah of Bikurim, we have the Tochacha, we have the inscription of the Torah by Har Grizim and Har Eval, and there's so much to really glean out of this week's parsha, especially with the recent events that happened in the world this past week. And that's really what I want to delve into. We'll start off with the mitzvah of Bikurim. And the mitzvah of Bikurim is you put the first fruits into a basket, you bring it to the base of Mikdash, and then you recount the story of Lavan trying to uproot the entire Jewish nation. He tried to not let the Jewish nation take hold by preventing the genealogies and the offspring and the marriage between Rachel and Leah. And could you imagine what would have happened if that didn't transpire? Where would we be? So we recount the story of someone trying to really uproot the source of our lineage. But now let's turn to the week. This has been a very heavy week, a week full of sadness, tragedy, and destruction. And I posted earlier, and I thought maybe I would share the same message this morning, and that is, what is the price of truth? What does it cost to live a life of truth? What does it cost to speak truth and to live truth? And unfortunately, our sages, our Chazal, hinted to the fact that when someone wants to be an Ish Emes, a person of truth, the cost is silence and isolation. And what do I mean by that? This past week, we've seen terrorism, we've seen acts of violence, we've seen gruesome attacks on the Jewish people and around the world, starting with the terror attack in Israel in Ramot on the bus, where terrorists shot up a bus. Unfortunately, it was terrible, and 6 Kedoshim lost their lives. And we kind of we reel from these situations and these events, and we collectively come together and to heal and to mourn. But where is the world condemnation of that act of terror? Silence. Crickets. Not one person condemns that act of terror against the Jewish people. Yet the very next day, or even the same day, when Israel launched their attacks in Qatar and they took out or tried to take out the Hamas leadership, what does the world say? The world screams, "How could you? How could you? How could you do such a thing?" In an uproar, all of our allies, all of our friends scream against Israel. And then we have the episode of what happened this past Wednesday or Thursday with Charlie. And again, someone who is trying to live his life and live a life speaking truth, not harming, not attacking, not anything, but just pointing out the flaws of society. And he is silenced. He is silenced. Leaders were silenced. Everybody was silenced. And that silence is ultimately the price that we pay to live a life of truth. It's tough. But we see from the Torah, we see many instances where that silence comes up. When Aaron lost his 2 sons, Aaron didn't scream out to Hashem. Why? He didn't fight for understanding. He says, V'yidom Aaron. Aaron was silent. He internalized the message. He took it in. We say, Sheker Achein Vehevel Yofi. The life of materialism, the life is just hot air. That physicality, that physical world is just hot air. What is the essence of what we're living for? That's the essence of truth. Yet people are drawn to the bright lights like a moth to the flame. And that's what we really have to understand. What is our mission? What are we searching for? What are we yearning for? And with that, Shelo Yidu Od Milchama, that we should never know war again. And the most important thing is for Am Yisrael, that Am Yisrael Chai, no matter how hard they push, no matter how hard they hit us, we'll always persevere. Am Yisrael Netzach Netzachim. With that, Shabbat Shalom.